everyone, this is Melissa, Artist in Residence at Imagine, and today I'm going to be sharing a card that I made using the Dewlet etched metal dies. I really like these dies. I think it's great that you get 5 of them in the set because you can do multiple things and you don't have to spend your whole time die cutting. So first what you're seeing me do is take Love Letter Memento Ink as well as Lulu Lavender and Angel Pink and simply pushing the little ink pad right onto a piece of white cardstock. I love the texture that the ink pad gives you, and I like the way that these colors are bright and vibrant on the white paper, and then I simply die cut those with the new Dewlets. I take some shimmer sparkle spray and spray those onto those, and look how beautiful that sparkle is. I love the sheer shimmer spray. It gives a nice even sparkle to any paper that you have. Now, I'm also going to create a little bit of a mixed media background by smushing those same 3 colors into my new Imagine mat that I have to tell you I love so much. I have another project out soon, if it's not out yet, that shows you the back of that Imagine mat. It has a grid on it and it's fantastic. Anyhow, I go ahead and spray some water onto those inks so that you lose that little teardrop shape, and then I simply put my Bristol smooth paper into that. You can also use watercolor, and then you see I get this great kind of watercolored background. Now I'm going to simply take the little Dewlet shapes that I cut out and use my on-point glue to glue them into a cute little heart shape. If you want to know what else you can make with these, you should check out the design team on the Imagine blog and also on the Imagine YouTube channel to see all the awesome ways the design team have used these cute little Dewlets for projects. So now that I've made the hearts, I kind of want to define that they're actually hearts, and so I'm going to go back in with the same inks and a small sponge dauber and just daub the edge of that heart so that it makes it a little bit more cohesive and you can tell that it actually is a heart. And I do that with each of these little hearts that I made using those sponge daubers, and I like to use a different sponge dauber for every color, though it's probably not necessary. You can clean these off and reuse them pretty easily. Imagine also has these in their online shop if you're interested in picking up some small sponge daubers. So now that I've inked the edges of all of those hearts with my Memento ink, I'm going to use this cute Whimsy stamps stencil. I believe it's an eyelet. It's called eyelet stencil, but I will put the link and description in the box below. I'm also taking gray flannel Memento ink and a new sponge dauber and simply smushing that into that stencil in a random pattern. I'm not going to put it all over the card, and I think that that looks pretty good for the card that I'm going to create. Again, that was gray flannel. So now that I have finished doing the stenciling, I decide I want to add a little bit of a mixed media, more of a mixed media feel to this card. So I grab some white acrylic paint and water it down a bit, and then simply grab a paintbrush and add some white splatters to the background of this card. I allow that to dry before I move on to the next step of my creation. So while that dried, I grabbed an A2 size card and also cut a piece of black cardstock to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is an A2 size card. And now that it is dried, I'm taking my Territ tape and adding that to the back of the card, and then simply peeling off the back of that Territ tape and adhering it first to the piece of black cardstock. I will tell you that I cut this paper down 1/4 inch on all sides to fit onto the black cardstock. And then I'm simply going to do the same thing again with my Territ tape and put that onto the back of the black cardstock and adhere it to my card base. And I like to do this. I like to add all these pieces first before adding any embellishments so that those don't get pulled off. Just a quick trick, I do like to take scissors and cut the excess off. It allows you to peel that tape off very easily. And I like that because I don't like to spend a lot of time trying to pick off that tape. Territ tape is great for mixed media backgrounds because it helps smooth out the paper so it's not so warped from your water that you've used. Now that that's finished, I'm going to go ahead and add my hearts with the on point glue again, and I just want to position them kind of in a vertical line there. And after I have added those, I will put an acrylic block on top of them so that they will adhere nice and flat. I do want to put a sentiment on this card, and I was a little bit worried about adding a sentiment over top of those hearts because you'll see the sentiment that I choose does kind of overlap them a little bit. This sentiment is from SugarPea Designs, and it says "Sending all my love," and I'm going to go ahead and stamp right over that heart. So I'm using my VersaFine Clair in Nocturne, and I ink up this stamp, and then you can see what I do. I close my lid, and I'll push it with just my fingers, but then I go ahead, and I'm going to slow down here for you. I pick it up and really smush it in with my thumbs so that I get a complete sentiment stamped over top that different level image there, and I'm telling you, it looks beautiful. I love VersaFine Clair ink for stamping sentiments. It's just the most amazing ink. You get such a clean sentiment every time. So now I'm taking a water soluble pencil and simply going around the edges of those hearts, and then I will take a watercolor brush and simply smush out that water soluble pencil. It gives kind of a more of a mixed media look to the card, but it also defines the hearts just a little bit so that they kind of stand out from the background, since I did make it cohesive with all of those colors. And after I finish kind of smushing out that water soluble pencil, I'm going to take some Pico embellisher and gray flannel, and I like to dab a little bit off into my paper towel first so I don't get air bubbles. And then actually I'm going to go ahead and put a few dots on here, and I kind of decide, wow, this stands out just a little bit more than I wanted it to. So I do take some matching sequins in pinks and purples and just add those right on top of that Pico embellisher. It works great as a glue as well, and you still kind of get this nice contrast with the sparkle of the sequins. So that finishes today's card. I hope you enjoyed today's project using the new Dewlets from Imagine, and that you'll join us again on Imagine's YouTube channel and the blog to see more fabulous projects. Make sure to look at the description box below to see all the products I used in today's video, and have a great day.